Alright, let's just do a little video log here about basically how I play my character and why fortune is, in my opinion, actually the best aspect in Outlands right now as it stands. There's a lot of people talking about fortune. Fortune's undergoing a big change and overhaul, and a lot of people talking about fortune, calling it hodgepodge. That was one of the most recent words used. But just generally thinking of it as kind of like a mess and like an aspect that doesn't know what it wants to do, I guess. So I I think it's the best. Really, honestly, I think it's the best. Let's go over how I use this real quick. So here's my builds. All right, this one's called Big Trapper. All right, we've got trapping. This is a Discord trapper. Basically, this is the most overpowered thing you can do in the game. Not by even a little, by actually a lot. Some people like to post their damage trackers and be proud of their 400 DPS or whatever. I can tell you this is well over 2000 DPS, at least, if you do it right. And that's all conditional anyway, so I wouldn't look at that too much as a factor for any decision making. But anyway, so we start with Trapper, right? So we're taking advantage of the wand and trap damage bonus. Wand and place trap damage bonus. Excuse me. That's really just the key to this build right here. I mean, it's got 65% damage to trap. And although you can use traps in many different aspects, particularly... where are we at here? Void works very well. Void is really, I would consider the second best. This like 15% damage bonus it gives here just seems to, for whatever, it just stacks up like crazy. And you get very close to the damage that Fortune provides. Although, of course, Fortune has... I'm going to redo this. I'm just getting this out here first. So Fortune has this gold and loot item chance bonus. I mean, I can't tell you how good this is. I mean, this is just insanely good. Especially when you're trapping. It's clearly OP, right? And you could say that it needs a nerf. But to say it's a hodgepodge and like not good and doesn't know what it's doing, these two things together it's just get wrecked. I mean, this is like literally the best thing you can do in the game for money. I mean, unless you're like in a huge guild that farms bosses and you got all that down and whatever. But I mean, I'm a solo player, and that's how I do it. Okay, so that's the Big Trapper build. And so Void, right? You can do it on Void. Let's actually go run through this again here. You can do it on Void. You can do it on Lyric. Lyric actually provides a massive bonus to trap damage. This is actually why I'm a Lyric where I'm a Bard in the first place. This is really the key to everything here is barding. Barding is quite a versatile skill set on Outlands. It's quite good. I like bards. I like playing music, playing the drum, whatever. This also has a lot of other little knickknacks here that you could really break down as why Lyric's really good here. It makes your earth elementals a lot stronger. This bonus to Song of effectiveness 57 point. Like, watch this. I mean, like, I'll just summon one of these guys. I don't need to do that, but yeah, this is a 20.7 reduced damage from creatures. If I turn my Lyric on, I forgot to set that. Okay, all right, I screwed that up. Let's turn my Lyric on here. Let's do that again, and we have 39.1% reduced damage. So that's significant. I mean, that's near double. And that makes Earth Elementals extremely strong. I mean, this is just, it's ridiculous. I've got 80 Spirit Speak here. If that was 120, I mean, this thing it would be a joke. It already kind of is a joke, but with 120, I mean, it's unreal. Anyway, let's get back to this here. All right, so I mean, this is kind of all self-evident here, why that works. Also, we've got the Void, went over that. And Poison aspect, this is really huge for trapping. This is something that Script does, obviously damage to poison. This allows you to basically make a Necro build with just a little bit of one trap. Like, all you need is like one trap, basically. And, the idea is you want to group poison something all at once and then just start smashing it with spells. And it's ridiculous how fast things melt with this. I personally think that Lyric is better, but you know, I mean, I've seen Script run this, and he's got like 30 gold links, and it's pretty ridiculous. So, very OP. World is saving. Okay. All right, Shadow Aspect. I mean, I would Void. Yeah. Okay. So we went over that. There's a good reason for that. So Void close to damage. I mean, if you look at the damage, Fortune is the highest, and between Void and Lyric, they're both pretty close. I can't remember which one's better, but they're like very close. None of these matter. I was hoping that Blood Aspect and Bleed Traps would have some sort of synergy. But let's see. Damage bonus below creatures below 50. Damage bonus to creatures below 50%. You know, that might work actually. That might actually work. Chance to inflict bleed on melee or spell. All stats increase. I mean, this kind of sucks, honestly. I would get rid of the stats increase. Like, what do you need this for? Does this really make you better? I don't know. I would just replace that and be like, you know, damage to bleeding targets or something like that, or whatever, or just enhance any kind of bleed. You know, chance to inflict bleed. Okay, all right, that's good. Damage to bones. This is all kind of weird too. You know, some of these decisions I really I think they were kind of just like thrown in there without really thinking too much. Probably they were chosen because they're like soft. You know, like they weren't something that's gonna like break stuff, and it was just sort of like a safe bet. You know. So I'm not a fan of that, but this could really I was really hoping this would be a big trapper thing, you know, a big deal with traps, bleed traps. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, enough of my hopes. Command, no. Death, no. Discipline. This is new to me. Chance to no. Nope. Earth is very good for traps. Not the armor, but actually if you don't want to get these massive windfall procs off of Fortune, which will just make stuff drop insane amounts of gold, then you should choose Earth, because Earth hands will reduce the armor of stuff. All right, so it's like reduces their armor by 30, blah blah blah. Basically, just turns their armor off, which is pretty cool. And then you can use explode traps very efficiently. It turns your explode traps into super booms. So I mean, not many people, like, you grab some phylacteries. I mean, you could, you know, talk about like stacking. Where is this? Talk about stacking. What am I trying to say? Oh, stacking like cost to your build. Grab a phylactery. Do people use phylacteries? I mean, they're pretty fucking good. They're pretty cheap, and then you know, Earth. I really, you know, I was like, I wonder if I could use a Fortune phylactery on like a massive group of mobs. Guarantee that I get that. Like, does it just pay for itself? I'm pretty sure it does. Like, they're usually like, I don't know, like 1,500 to 3,000 gold. But yeah, Earth will just make your traps do insane amounts of damage. That's pretty cool. You know, specifically for explosion traps. Okay, and that's probably going to be, you know, that's if that's old traps, new traps, doesn't matter. That'll be in both. All right, and then what else? Okay, so that's basically, I just went over one build. That was oh, there's also, you could use Enervate traps with Eldritch Aspect, kind of in the way Script only has like uses like one trap. Like, you just need one trap. I don't know how great that is. There's some things that reduce magic resist on mobs. Fire actually works really good. This is something, somebody brought this to my attention. This is something I haven't tested, but apparently you use the bleed traps, right? And then your fire armor's on, and you just get these procs all over the place with, because every bleed tick counts for a proc from fire aspect. So apparently that is very cool. I have not tried that, but like basically burn trapping people with bleed sounds pretty good to me. All right, holy. I have no idea. I've not messed with this. Pretty sure that's just. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there. And yeah, back to this. All right, so anyway, moving on. I also have a Skinner Echo here, based in Fortune, of course, because let's go back to Fortune. Because we have this very interesting thing here, the harvesting skill bonus. Okay, now I realize that is being moved, or trying to be moved, to a harvesting skill, which I'm all for. It's very good. This, you know, I have a whole freaking Echo for this. You know, it's like when I need some skins, I go into this. I have like less trap damage, but that doesn't bother me because I don't know if you guys know how to use forensic eval, but I mean, you don't need to be in a dungeon. I mean, you could just run through a dungeon and skin people's stuff, and that's pretty much all you need to do. But if you go into the wilderness and you run a script that just like attacks all like birds and just everything around you and just mob it up, you know, and then you got 124 at the good val, you know, and then you get your Averhide skinning knife, or try to min max your stuff there. It's kind of a fun way to do it. That's how I actually build up to 120. I've done this a couple times. Just going for volume over quality is basically what I'm trying to say here. So you're getting big volume with that. Now, of course, this one's a little bit tankier with the Spirit Speak. I'm not really getting into the nuances of the actual full build, but I just want you to know that, you know, I've got a full Skinner build for this, and it works really damn good with Fortune. And this is pretty much ultimate skinning right here. You trap stuff, and then you skin stuff. I mean, pretty easy, right? It's obviously not damage focused. It's not a gold farming build, but there you have it. There's your forensic. Forensic also gives you a barding skill bonus. Not used in this build, but if you have, I have 0 in this build here. The current character, the Big Trapper, he has 17, effectively 17 forensic. So when I skin something, if you go to, I mean, I don't think I've skinned anything in a little while, but we go to barding, and you'll have like so, yeah, it's not there right now. Let's just go just skin something real quick. Just gonna put that on there. And this is just kind of funny. I guess you can call it janky or hodgepodge if you want, but I mean, this means something. This actually means something if we just go and just run out here. Kill anything. Probably should just just recall the ossuary. It's probably a better idea. Okay, nothing there. Let's do a little bit of damage to that guy. Okay, we got our skinning bonus. Now that we have our skinning bonus, you can see here. Oh, it's unprovoked. Okay, right. Discordance. So, yeah, where is that? Let's see. Oh, did I already have it on? I guess I did already have it on. Let's see. Quality and material. Oh, you just get that. You don't have to. Never mind. Okay. So you just get that now. Pretty sure. Oh, 6% effective skill mastery chain. No, that's not it either. Aspect gear, quality, and material. Okay, I don't know why that's not showing there, but basically it just gives you... It gives you a little tiny edge. Oh, it's because I'm fucking... That's why. Okay, we got to get out of this. Okay, let's go back to there. And here we go. Okay, so you see 1.7 effective skill. Forensic. It says 17 there. Harvesting skill bonus. But this little 1.7, that actually means something. It really does. It gives you just a... It helps with multipliers. Makes my Earth Elemental just a little bit stronger. Without it, it's like 19% or something. So it's like an extra little bit, right? Just a little something. Not the be-all, end-all, obviously, but that's what that is. Okay, so that's the Skinner. Next we have a Treasure Hunter. This is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, this is getting pretty... I have no idea where this is going to end up, but this is an amazing build, you know. It uses Fortune. I got a little bit of Spirit Speak for the Earth Elemental protection. Got my Magery. lockpicking at 100 because we get that obviously, and then you don't really, you know, I'll take like shadow or yeah, shadow or tools with me, and I will pick level 8 chests. It's a really low chance. I should probably bring better tools if I'm going to do that. But I mean, I was, you know, mostly just using this for level 6s, and sure, you can go into level 7, level 8, but honestly, level 8s are just a pain in the ass. It's like, why even bother with those? They just take too long. You're just going to get PK'd probably. Standing there like a doofus, getting harassed by the custodian. So this is great. This works really good. Remove trap, I guess, is going away. So, you know, like, I'm not against the change up here, moving it into, you know, I mean, this frees up some skill space for me on this. That's cool. But just to let you guys know, you know, obviously that works really good. Get some good loots. Self-explanatory. I have a harvester here now too. I've got 120, 120 lumberjack and mining. Run with peacemaking. This is just, I'm just going out there getting stuff. Just, I don't really care about fighting anything. I just want to harvest and get it over with. And peacemaking was really good because you know, barding skills gives you passive PvP resistance. So it's as if you have 100 magic resist and 100 wrestling, which is great as long as you don't attack the attacker. Which, by the way, I did find a bug with that. I don't know if you call it a bug or not, but you can if you have like reactive armor on and somebody hits you, and that hits them, then you lose your barding bonus. Or it's either that or I'm punching back or something. Like I'm doing like an auto defend when I'm trying not to fight back, and I've definitely had that drop that defensive barding bonus drop off me from being attacked by other players before. Just in specific situations. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, I got tracking for this. Pretty you know, I mean, I guess there's people out there that want to be like super strong harvesters that want to be able to kill demons. I don't know what you're doing, but you want to like harvest in a dungeon. And it's like, oh, harvesting's like supposed to be like you know, PVM or something, but good luck with that. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Pretty simple. Capping just because the ore gets heavy. And sea captain build. Fortune works for this too. Pretty nice because we're getting the gold and loot item chance bonus. I'm a lyric captain, so I will be in lyric 100% of the time, except for, well, I should say 98% of the time, except for when I deal a finishing blow to the crew on an enemy ship. I will try to switch into fortune. Sometimes I'll proc and that blocks you from switching, so that's kind of annoying, but you can switch into that, and there you have it. Fortune is extremely useful. I literally use it for everything. Like, and you know, I've got a T13 tamer. I've got a T13 stealth dude. I've pretty much done it all. The only thing I don't really do is boss builds, but everything that's OP I've had a hand in and I've done, and I have left a lot of that stuff. Like, ask me to run an air dexter with like, no thanks. I mean, talk about boring. I mean, why don't we just go play Super Mario and jump on Goombas over and over, because you're basically just doing the same thing over and over, and all that shit is so scripted. I mean, it's like, I mean, you have to basically like want to impose a handicap on yourself and like be like, I want to farm slower, you know, without using those scripts. So just you use a simple warrior script. Pretty much everybody's doing it. It turns it into the most boring thing ever, and you know, we're expected to like level this shit up under that. Okay, I mean, that's not fun. And I apologize for being critical right now, and maybe I think it's due criticism. I mean, I think people would agree with me. That's running a Dexter is boring. It's very boring. Now, I will say that the new traps do pose a little bump to that. However, give me 25 minutes and I'll do up a script that completely kicks ass and just completely handles that for you, and it'll just be the same old shit, you know. By the way, this is nice. This is my explode trap script here, if anyone wants to see. These are all the same, but Nice little script here. This does lots of cool things. Just, you know, does some cool UI stuff, and yeah, it makes things cool. But you know, this is a 208 line script, and I can tell you in the new trap system, I'll have that thing wrapped up in like 50 lines pretty much. You know, you just and then add it to a one of those Dexter scripts that just runs around, does everything for you. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, why are we making builds this simple that they can be just scripted and then turned into monotony, just pure monotony? It's annoying. I don't play really any other class because of that. That's why I play the Fortune Trapper. I mean, it's big money, it's big risk, it's big cost. You know, like 777 gold per 7 traps on average, and then bring a phylactery, bring a wand. By the way, wands. What are you guys doing? Like, can I hit this guy with my wand? Oh, come on. All right, let's go to Osroy real quick and let's just see how ridiculous this is. Okay, this is a harm wand of greater beast slaying. All right, let's go to a beast dungeon. We'll go to Nucero. Let's go smack a beast with my T14 wand. Now, mind you, I still use these despite how shitty they are. Pardon the language there. But, wham, 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 wham. Oh, get wrecked, get wrecked, get wrecked. Whelp. All right. Now, let's do that again. It's like, oh, we did 200 damage to the whelp. All right, let's do it again. Wait, what? 1 minute and 50 seconds before you may use another Slayer wand. Wait. Okay, hold on a second here. Let's get out of here. Okay, so let's just go over this. There's a reason why people don't use wands, except for me, because I literally I find uses for just about everything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 250 damage. That's a Slayer. That's a Greater Slayer on the Dragon Whelp, which I'm pretty sure is a beast. It is a beast. 100% that's a beast. And then we have a cooldown of 2 minutes on that. Okay, here it gets worse. This is a harm wand. That's circle 2. If you use, the higher the circle you go, the longer the cooldown. I think it gets up to like 6 minutes or something like that. It's why? I mean, can you just change that? I don't even give a shit about the damage. Just let me use this thing every 2 seconds, right? And let me just burn these charges. And then you won't have as many items in the world and you'll have happy people, okay? Not that people keep these, except for me, pretty much, because I'll tell you the use that I use them for. If any of you have watched my Trapper video, you'll notice that some of the mobs are left with very little hit points at the end, and I do what's called cleanup. So I need a little bit of magery damage, which actually, my magery damage is pretty huge. Oops, my magery damage is pretty huge on the big Trapper, despite only having 100 magery. Why is it huge? Well, because I have Discordance. That's big. And we have the Wizard Grimoire that's activated through meditation there. Yeah, you pump everything up, you get the multipliers going. I'm doing 700 damage flame strikes. You know? And then I have a wand. Oh, it's up finally. Oh, look at that. The wand came up. Alright, so I think that's about all I wanted to say. Before I end this, let's just quickly go over my suggestions on the forums. So just give me a moment here. I'm going to pull up what I think should be done. Now, mind you, I am one mind, and Lucius is one mind, and I really think that these complex issues need more than one mind, which is great. That's why you have the test shard here. We've got our test shard testers. The only problem with this is that this test shard is loaded with people that have ulterior motives, that are basically they either don't think things through very well. Most of the people, some of them are very good. You know, you gotta be able to pick those people out, obviously. But you're lost in a sea of now, if I flash your name here, I'm sorry, but you're lost in a sea of kind of idiocy with a lot of these comments, and a lot of these people are very vitriolic too about changes and this and that. And I've suggested some changes here, and You know, people just they're like I was told to fuck off a couple times. I was told that I was losing credibility by somebody who I've basically never met before. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but you get the idea. I mean, this is an unruly mob of douchebags, pretty much. Um, Barring a few of them. A few of them are actually very smart, and they have some very good ideas. And I try to pick those out by just thumbs upping them. But it's difficult, right? Like you do need more minds on one thing. I think it'd be difficult for me to be in Lutheus's shoes right now and navigating this stuff as a developer and not so much as a player. And that's a disconnect that often happens in development is that the developers, although they may play their game, they don't play it as intently as some of the players, like for example me, and finding ways to make uh, one man's trash another man's treasure on fortune aspect, literally. Okay, so we'll go over my suggestions here. Just trying to pull this up, trying to find it. So yada yada yada. Everybody who's involved in this process here knows what's going on, so I won't go through that. So I was a little bit upset here, and I made some just went upset like just reading it, and I was like, this doesn't look good on paper. This looks like it's going to be rough. And I was right. It was rough. It was already pulled one time, and a whole bunch of people raged, both ways, I guess. And that was kind of silly. But I'm gonna disregard this one. I can't remember what I was talking about there. There's probably just some stuff, whatever. Okay, gonna disregard that too. I've kind of over time refined things. So there's just really two I want to talk about, and that is this post here. So we're looking at gadget aspect. So, all right, fine. You want to dismantle fortune, fine. If this is traps are going to have their own aspect, which I actually don't think they should. When I saw this, I was a little, I was like, I felt like it was I felt bad, honestly, because this seemed like a gift to people. Gadget aspect seems like a gift. This is my gadget aspect. Should pull up Lutheus's here. Let me just pull that up. We'll just take a look at it. Gadget aspect. Where are you? Gadget aspect. Oop, did we pass it? Okay, there it is. All right. So first thing I notice is you've reduced the damage from fortune. Okay. And if we go to the game and we look at fortune, that's a pretty significant nerf to damage there. If this is going to be a trap specific aspect, and you're overhauling traps, this is where do we go here? Why is this lower? Why would that be lower? I mean, the reason why, and of course you can tinker with the base damage through the code, and like you can basically make this number irrelevant. However, when we look at other aspects, and what I was talking about with lyric and void and all that sort of stuff, the margins were very small for how much damage fortune did above the rest. So that 10% actually did mean quite a bit. And if this is to be affected by if you're using traps and other aspects, then you're going to probably find, and what I assume, that gadget aspect is the worst aspect to use for traps. Okay, barring that you get some trap cooldown. I think that actually I tested it, and it was actually very insignificant. This 7.2 seconds didn't seem to really matter that much. I was using lyric and I was having 12-second trap cooldowns, and I was using gadget and I was having 8-second trap cooldowns. So, and that was with the bonus there was some bonus in the codex, which I'm pretty sure is still there. So I was like, why would anybody use gadget? It didn't make any sense to me. Why would anybody would use this? Okay, now we have a damage resistance for 10 seconds after trap. That's great. I mean, first they lock you in place for 3.5 to 5 seconds, but you get damage resistance after the trap. Okay, but so who cares? Like, why? I mean, this is another one of those safe mechanics that I despise that are being put in here that are like, oh yeah, we'll just put that in there because it fills the slot basically. So that's just like, and it's like, why wouldn't you just put wands in there? I mean, what are you gonna do with wands? Are they gonna be like some new thing or something? It's like there's literally, you just nerfed wands and they're already really bad. So maybe people will have a little bit of an understanding when I say that this is not one of the best patches that Outlands has released, and that I think it's being it's a large order, it's a tall order to go through, and I think you need more minds on this than just Luthien. And I know he does have more minds, but what I'm referring to is more like people that are actual developers that maybe have some expertise. Okay, so not just the plebs, not just the crowd, right? Maybe some of the staff. I'm not sure who else is working on this stuff. Owen, he'd be somebody to go to. Now he's not a developer, or sorry, a coder, or maybe he's a bit. I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, he's got a rational mind, and somebody to consult. But that's not enough. I would suggest maybe even. Outlands is getting quite large when it comes to the mechanics that it embodies. And I would suggest pulling on another developer onto this team. Just because if you continue going down this road of expansion and tinkering and stuff like that, it's going to be increasingly difficult to keep that, to keep it good, frankly. You're going to have a little bit of, anyway, you get my point. So let's go back to my patch just here. So hopefully I'm not rambling too much. I guess I'm just sort of speaking my mind on this. Okay, so here's my idea for gadget aspect, if we're going to do it, which I don't think we should necessarily do, but okay, so of course we have the armor rating. We're going to keep that. Of course we have the trap damage. We'll keep that. Pretty simple. You just give us the wands, right? And I made a point down here. This is gadget aspect. Let's not have a single gadget. And literally, you could almost consider that there's like 8 gadgets right now on live because there's 8 different traps. Or is it 7? Or it's 8? Whatever it is. So now we have 1 gadget? Okay, but how about the wands? Excuse me. I mean, what are we doing with wands? It just seems like, well, is that a gadget? I mean, it kind of does fit that it's a gadget. I know wands are like these magical things, like maybe we're Sailor Moon. I don't know. But I mean, this is something, the current structure of wands could be something that you could even port over. You could maybe just change the name of wands to, I don't know, Magic Gadget or something. Whatever you want, man. Like, it's creative. Be creative about it. But the point is that the functionality of the wands can actually go in here. And you can basically just wand damage and cooldown, right? So we saw what I did to the whelp, how I owned the whelp with 250 damage on a 2-minute cooldown with the best wand that you can get with the most stacked that was a greater wand, by the way. I mean, not the best wand you can get, but it was a greater wand, harm wand. This just seems all too logical to me. It seems like it's a very good idea, and I haven't heard too many people talk about this. Mostly because I think a lot of people forget about wands, but just seems like a very good application for it. Chance for an extra trap. So you basically I don't know you put that up to like 30% or something on max, 35%. So it turns your 7 traps into potentially, do the math, right? I do like the 7 traps. I think that's a good limit. There's some people asking for 10, but I guess we're not really going to go there because they're basically getting rid of that if they go through with this. And then I had this idea for Innovate. And of course, I am manhandling Luthier's design by doing this. I'm sorry. But this is my way of getting ideas out there. And, it's not, these are just ideas. That's why I put X in here. So Innovate. Your next attack does X amount of damage and inflicts a random trap effect to all enemies within 5 tiles. All trap cooldowns are reset. I'm not like thinking this should be what it is, but it's just an idea. I mean, you can play with that. There's a point here I wanted to make about, I'm not going to get into that. Of course, bleed, explosion, poison, pierce traps are good. I'm thinking Innovate's kind of good too. maybe if it got a buff, that would be good. But we've been saying this for years to Luthien. Like, dude, why don't you just if you're gonna overhaul something, let's overhaul those. Okay, people have put forward so many cool ideas that could just have an amazing group dynamic, like the heal traps. Those are pretty cool. Like you can heal like basically your whole guild. It's like, oh my god, we're wiping on a boss, and then you pop one of those things, and it's like, okay, we're safe, something like that. I mean, balance it, whatever. There's something else I wanted to point out here in one of my other posts. Let's see if I can find it here. So when I'm putting these suggestions out, I'm putting them out based on how the game already works. I'm trying to take what Luthien has already put into the game and go with that theme. So this is one right here. Consider an item similar to a wizard satchel for potions and trap items. Obviously, you need to have old traps for this to be something because the new traps don't have potions. But I mean, I think it's high time we had a utility belt for potions. Make them lighter, whatever. Same thing that the wizard satchel does. And then you just put the trap items in there too. Okay, trap wire update was good. There used to be different types of trap wire. Obviously, people probably know about that. And then I guess, I don't know, without ranting too much, probably ship has sailed on that. There's one more thing I wanted to do. Last thing I'm going to mention here. I thought this was just a very easy solution right here. If you remove harvesting from lockpicking maps and harvesting, you don't really need to do anything. Like I would just, I would suggest just doing this one at a time and slowing things down. And instead of going with gadget aspect off the bat, let's just set that aside for a minute because I think you can do a lot more with gadget. Right now, it just seems like it's like a reduction of the types of things you can do, an oversimplification. I'm not against simplification. There's a lot of simplification we can do with, like gumps and all that sort of stuff. I mean, right now, there's like 3 clicks that you got to do to place a trap, or 4. It's 4 clicks. So it's like you click a trap wire, you click yourself, you click the gump, and then you click the detonator. Unless you have proximity detonation, then it's 3 clicks. So it's okay, fair enough. 4 clicks, that's a lot of clicks for something. Now, of course, I just made a script that does that, and I'm very willing to share this. In fact, if we do keep old traps, I will absolutely share this. This is a very nice script, and it works really well, and I'm sure people can improve on it. I'm fairly new to scripting. I've just recently learned it, but I've done a pretty good job of doing that one. So that just seems like a very simple thing to do. Now, what's the downside of doing that? Like, okay, so we're taking the harvesting out of there. Let's go back to the game. All right, so lockpicking, maps, and harvesting. So basically, fortune aspect is still the aspect for lockpickers, of course. And fortune aspect is still the aspect for trappers. And fortune aspect is still the aspect for people that want to buff the loots. Okay. So I think that's the first step. You remove harvesting. Okay, so that hurts me, right? That makes it so I'm not a, oh crap. Okay, whoops. I pressed a hotkey. That nerfs one of my echoes pretty severely, but that's okay because I would still keep it. And what I would do is I would just start leveling for harvest from 0. This doesn't bother me. I've already got 120, 120, so I mean that's probably going to be pretty decent. Probably pretty okay. Now I realize some people will not be okay with that, and that sort of sucks. But really, are we really going to say no to a harvesting aspect? I mean, the harvesting aspect is the best thing in this patch. It is the best idea out there for that patch. Now, I really think it should go in. It's really cool, and definitely props to Luthien for bringing that up and pushing that out there. But you know what I'm saying? Just do that. Done. Okay. I guess that's all I have to say. Other than if you just take it slow and then just give it time for people to adjust. Like if you do too much all at once, you're just gonna you know, create a bunch of strife, and you know, you're gonna kill Script and you're gonna kill Bappeth. You know, you don't want to do that. These people are as volatile as Script's mouth can be towards Luthien. The guy knows Ultima very well, and so do I. And you should listen to people that know Ultima really well. Try not to listen to people that don't know Ultima very well. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's about all I got to say about that.